You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, aspiring actors. With me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And every week, I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid, working, unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready? Hello and welcome to episode 50 of the Unstoppable Actors podcast. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe we are on 50 episodes. And before I started recording this, I just came up with this crazy idea that I wanted to offer you something in return for tuning into Unstoppable Actors regularly. And by the way, if you're a first-time listener to Unstoppable Actors, you can also get involved in this as well. So we're going to be diving into a technique that affects 97% of actors. But before we do, I just want to let you know that because we're on 50 episodes of the podcast, I want to give away a 1-hour one-to-one method acting private coaching session to one of you. If you want to be in with a chance of winning this, all you need to do is share this episode to your socials and tag us in it at Standby Method Acting Studio for both Facebook and Instagram. And if you're on Twitter, it's at Standby Method. So if you tag us in your post, and you can either tag us by sharing where you're listening to it, or you could just tag us and tell us what the biggest takeaway was from this episode, or just tag and share the actual episode itself, you could be in with a chance of winning a private 60-minute one-on-one method acting coaching session. And I will be, you've only got 3 days to do this, so this episode is released on Friday the 20th. I will be revealing the winner on Monday the 23rd of January 2023, so you've literally only got 3 days to be in with a chance. This idea just came to me before I recorded, so I thought, let's just do it. Let's do it. So that's what you can do. You just need to share this episode or where you're listening to it, or the biggest takeaway from this episode, to your socials and tag us in it at Standby Method if you're on Twitter, or at Standby Method Acting Studio if you're on Instagram or Facebook. Anyway, let's crack on then with the episode. So as I've already said, we're looking at this one technique. I say technique loosely, that affects 97% of actors. And it's all about working with characters and where character work can actually go wrong and can become samey. So before we dive into that, let's first of all just remind ourselves of what a character is. A character is someone with a unique identity, unique physicality. They can have their own unique moral qualities, their own unique behaviour, and their own unique mental thought processes. So the word unique is really key here. What we don't want is for each and every character to be the same. But we also want to get off to a strong start with the character development work so we can avoid that and we can find something unique in each individual character we're tasked with playing. Now, characters can actually be very, very, very similar to emotional work. So you might find that there's one or two emotions that are really easy for you to play. So it could be anger, or it could be excitement, or it could be sadness. Whatever it is, you can tap into them and you don't really have to think about it, it just happens. Well, the same can happen with characters as well. So it might be the nosy neighbour, or the drunk, or the ditzy airhead, or the bouncer, or the security guard, or whatever it is. There'll be a couple of characters that you play really well. Now, these characters are second nature for you, so they're fun and they're easy, as I've already said. You don't really have to think about it, they just come naturally to you. But when it comes to characters that aren't familiar, so the ones who've been in situations that you haven't necessarily been in, then all of a sudden the fun can be taken out of the process and it starts to become stressful, which in turn blocks our imagination and then leads to you playing each character as a carbon copy of one another. So they have the same mannerisms, the same accent. That is known as default character acting, and that is what 97% of actors get sucked into, default character acting, playing every character the exact same way. Now, we don't want this, because what we want is we want you to be known in the industry as a versatile actor. Think Daniel Day-Lewis. What his unique selling point is that he really embodies each and every character that he plays, and they look and sound completely different. In fact, sometimes I have to do a double take and go, is that actually Daniel Day-Lewis playing the character? It doesn't even look like him. So that's what his branding is based around, and it comes from his craft and his ability to be able to adapt to each and every role that he plays. And as I've already said, we want you to be versatile because that increases your chances of getting cast. And with where you're at right now with your acting career, that's what you need, because you are going to be attending auditions more often than you are actually in productions until you get that break that you're looking for. So what I want you to start to do is to start to become aware of when you're default character acting. Start becoming aware when you're doing the same thing. And rather than fretting, because fretting, as I've already said, leads us to stressing and it leads to a tense performance, what I want you to do is start to think about the nuances that the character requires. When you can start thinking about the nuances that each individual character requires from you, that's when you increase your chances of getting cast. But if you keep playing the same thing over and over again, you're actually decreasing your chances of getting cast. And it's really important that you start showing up as the actor you envisage yourself being in the future. So we have to start that now. Of course, you're always going to be developing over your career because you'll acquire new life experience, you'll acquire new skills, you'll become more experienced as an actor, but set the tone now, right now in this moment, for the actor you want to be in the future. Now I'm going to share with you how you can do this. It's really quite simple. So for you to find the nuances that each character requires of you, there are really only 4 things that you need to do, and they're very, very simple. The first thing is you've got to pull out the given circumstances in the script, all the facts about the character, and you have to let them guide you. When you work with the given circumstances, you can't possibly create the same character each and every time, because with every script that you pick up, the given circumstances will be different. So start there. That is going to give you a very strong starting point. Now, the second thing to do is listen to your instincts when you're reading the script. These are known as your creative instincts or your creative impulses. And then what you want to do is blend those with the given circumstances. Now, usually the best time to listen to your creative instincts is on the first read of the script, because they are the absolute loudest they will ever be in this entire process. And that's because you don't have any preconceived ideas about the character. So you're going to pull out the given circumstances and listen to your creative instincts and blend the two of those together. The third thing, I've kind of already touched upon this, but it is to set your imagination to 0. So you're not going in with a preconceived idea. You aren't influenced by past characters that you've played. You aren't influenced by what you think the character should be. Your imagination is at absolute 0, so it's open to ideas, it's open to your instincts, it's open to these given circumstances. And then finally, the fourth thing is, when you start to pull out these given circumstances, ask yourself, what is unique about this character, behaviour-wise, accent-wise, vocally, physically? What is unique about them? And then anchor into 1 or 2 of those things as your starting point for creating this character. Now, when you start following this process, playing characters becomes playful, it becomes fun, you become more creative, it becomes more imaginative, you become an artist then. And when you approach from this process, it also allows you to develop your confidence in your own abilities and where your place is in the industry. And that will make you even more motivated to absolutely achieve the goals that you've set out for yourself with your acting dreams. So this is only the tip of the iceberg, and there is so much more that you can do. Now, I want to offer you a character development workbook for free. I want to give you that, and you can get that in a 2-hour online workshop. And the name of that workshop is Character Development, Become One and Win More Roles. This is where you'll get to test out what I've covered in today's podcast with my guidance, and you'll also learn 3 more method acting exercises that will absolutely revolutionise the way you approach characters, and it will help you bring your A game to every single audition and every single production so you start getting noticed. So there's 2 opportunities for you here in this podcast, and I'd highly encourage you to take both. So the first one, which I mentioned at the beginning, is being in with a chance of winning that 60-minute one-on-one method acting coaching session with myself. So all you need to do is just tag us in your socials to let us know that you've listened to this episode, what the biggest thing was that you took away from it, or just put a selfie of yourself listening to it, or even just share the episode. And then the second thing is, I want you to come and join this character development workshop on Sunday the 29th of January, because now you can work with other actors as well. It's a very immersive, intensive, practical, free workshop. So for you to sign up to that, all you need to do is click the link underneath the podcast. I hope this has been useful for you. I hope you are going to put these things into practice, because that's where you will really find your skills developing, not just by listening to this episode, but by actually putting into practice what I'm sharing with you. And if you have enjoyed it, please do leave us a review as well for episode 50. Oh my gosh, can't believe we've done 50 episodes. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye. I have absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, aspiring actors. Now, if you did, I'd really love you to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and leave a review. And if you would like weekly injections of inspiration, you'd like mini method acting challenges to keep you making progress with your dreams, come and join the most supportive acting community online by clicking the link in the notes to help you become an unstoppable actor.